We gave a human a pen to sign her surrender. We didn't realize she would use it to start a war we couldn't survive. So, here is the thing about humans. They lose. That is what they do best, actually. Losing, flailing around, making desperate last stands that accomplish absolutely nothing except delaying the inevitable by, oh, maybe 3 standard cycles if they are really, really lucky. And let me tell you, I have seen a lot of species lose over my 12 years serving the Velcrin Empire. But humans, they lose with this special kind of stubborn stupidity that would be almost adorable if it was not so pathetic. My name is Kixlar, 3rd Tactical Officer aboard the VS Dominant Reach, which, yes, I know, the name is a bit on the nose, but that is command for you. Subtlety has never been our strong suit. Then again, when you have conquered 47 star systems and counting, you do not really need subtlety, do you? You just need really, really big guns and an absolute certainty that you are better than everyone else in the galaxy. Right now, I am standing on the bridge of said massive warship, watching the view screen display, Earth's last military stronghold, some ridiculous orbital station they have named Bastion Prime. How original, how inspiring, how completely and utterly doomed. The station is burning. Well, parts of it are burning. Other parts are just venting atmosphere into the black void of space, which is honestly way more dramatic if you ask me. Little specks of debris spin away from the hull breaches, glittering in the light of Earth's sun like the saddest confetti in the universe. Down below, on that little blue and green marble they call home, the humans are probably panicking, running around, screaming, doing whatever it is humans do when they realize they have lost everything. Commander Thalarex is pacing back and forth across the bridge, his forearms clasped behind his back in that way he does when he is feeling particularly pleased with himself. His scales are practically shimmering with satisfaction, catching the red glow of the tactical displays. He keeps glancing at the chrono display, then at the view screen, then back at the chrono, like a youngling waiting for their hatch day celebration to start. How long? He asks for the 5th time in 10 minutes. 17 minutes until their shields collapse completely, Commander, replies Vexmorn from the weapons station. She sounds bored. We are all bored, honestly. This battle stopped being interesting about 4 hours ago when their flagship exploded. Everything since then has just been cleanup. Excellent, Thorek says, his mandibles clicking together in what passes for a Velcrin smile. Prepare the boarding parties, and bring me their commander. The human one. I want to watch her sign the surrender documents personally. Oh, this is going to be good. I can already tell. They drag her onto the bridge 23 minutes later, and honestly, I am underwhelmed. Commander Elena Vasquez, supreme leader of humanity's pathetic little defense fleet, looks like she went 3 rounds with a plasma conduit and lost. Her uniform, which I assume was once some shade of military blue, is torn at the shoulder and stained with what I really hope is just hydraulic fluid. Her dark hair has come loose from whatever sensible military arrangement it was supposed to be in, and there is a cut above her left eyebrow that is still bleeding a little bit. Just a tiny trickle of red, very dramatic, very human. 2 of our security officers have her by the arms, practically carrying her between them. She is not struggling, which, good for her, I suppose. At least she has figured out that resistance at this point is not just futile. It is embarrassing. Thalarex stops his pacing immediately. He straightens to his full height, which is impressive. I will give him that. 2.5 meters of scaled, 4-armed apex predator superiority. Next to him, this human looks like a juvenile. They are so small, humans, so soft, no natural weapons, no armor plating, no redundant organs, just squishy pink flesh wrapped in cloth and delusion. Commander Vasquez, Thorek says, drawing her name out like he is savoring expensive wine. Welcome aboard the Dominant Reach. I trust your accommodations in the detention bay were adequate. She does not respond, just stares at him with these dark eyes that are either full of defiance or completely empty. I honestly cannot tell. Human faces are so weird. All those mobile features and micro-expressions. Give me a nice, simple scale pattern any day. Bring her forward, Thalarex commands. The security officers haul her closer to the command dais, and I notice she is limping slightly. Left leg. Probably injured during the station breach. They plant her right in front of Thorex's desk, which he has had specially prepared for this occasion, and by prepared I mean he has cleared off all the tactical readouts and replaced them with an actual physical document, paper, honest to stars, paper, like we are living in the primitive ages. But that is Thalrex for you, always with the theatrical flair. Do you know what this is? He asks, gesturing at the paper with one of his upper arms while the lower two remain clasped behind his back. Very regal, very commanding, very ridiculous. Vasquez finally speaks. Let me guess. Surrender terms? Her voice is raspy, probably from smoke inhalation or screaming or whatever humans do when their space stations explode around them. But there is this edge to it, this little hint of sarcasm that makes my scales itch. You would think someone in her position would have the sense to sound more defeated. Not just surrender terms. Thalrex says, warming to his subject now. Oh no, here we go. This is the formal acknowledgement of Velcrin's superiority over the human species. This is the legal transfer of all Earth territories, resources, and remaining military assets to the Empire. This is history, Commander, and you are going to sign it. He produces a pen from somewhere, an actual, physical, ink-dispensing pen. I did not even know we had those on the ship. It is sleek, metallic, probably worth more than a standard soldier's annual pay. He places it on the document with exaggerated care, like he is presenting a sacred artifact. Please, he says, gesturing magnanimously. Sign. Oh, here we go. Speech time. I can feel it, coming like you can feel a solar storm building. Thalrex gets this certain gleam in his eye, this particular set to his shoulders, and you just know he is about to launch into one of his legendary monologues. I glance over at Vexen, and she catches my look, her inner eyelids flickering in what I recognize as profound sympathy. We have both sat through these before. You know, Thalrex begins, and yep, there it is. When we first encountered your species, Commander, we thought perhaps, just perhaps, you might be different, special even. He starts pacing again, moving in a slow circle around Vasquez like a predator circling wounded prey, except the prey is just standing there, completely still, staring straight ahead at nothing in particular. The security officers have stepped back to give Thalrex his theatrical space, because they know the drill too. We had heard stories, you see, stories of human tenacity, human creativity, human stubbornness. We thought, well, this could be interesting. This could be a challenge worthy of the Velcrin Empire. Around the bridge I can see the crew perking up. Ensign Krauthos at communications is practically vibrating with excitement. He is new, only been on the ship for 2 months, so he has not yet learned that victory speeches are very boring when you have heard 30 of them. Junior Officer Nixara has actually stopped monitoring her station entirely to watch, which, you know, great tactical awareness there. But you disappointed us. Thalrex continues, his voice dropping to this faux disappointed tone that he probably practiced in front of a mirror. Your ships were slow. Your weapons were primitive. Your strategies were predictable. You fought like younglings playing at war, not like true warriors. I suppressed the urge to point out that the Battle of Proxima actually cost us 3 cruisers and a dreadnought, and that predictable is not exactly the word I would use to describe the humans' suicide run on our supply depot at Kepler Station. But sure, Thalrex, whatever helps you sleep through your rest cycle. Vasquez still has not moved. Her expression has not changed. She is just standing there, breathing slowly, staring at that spot on the far wall like it contains the secrets of the universe. The blood from her eyebrow has dripped down to her cheek now, leaving a thin red line that makes her look even more pathetic, defeated, broken. Good. That is how she should look. And now, Thalrex says, sweeping back to his desk with a flourish, we come to this moment, the end of human independence, the beginning of human subservience, a tale as old as the Empire itself. He taps the document with one claw. 42 species have signed documents just like this one, Commander. 42 species have knelt before the Velcrin and acknowledged their place in the natural order of things. And now you will be the 43rd. He picks up the pen again, holding it out toward her with this exaggerated ceremony, like he is offering her a great honor instead of demanding she sign away her entire species' freedom. The light from the view screen catches the metallic surface, making it gleam. For just a second, I think I see something flicker in Vasquez's eyes, some tiny spark of emotion, but then it is gone and she is back to that blank, exhausted stare. The Velcrin Empire is not without mercy, Ulrich says, and I have to physically bite my tongue to keep from laughing at that one. Sign this document, and we will spare Earth's remaining population. Resist further, and well, we have glassed planets before. The choice, Commander, is yours. He extends the pen closer. So, what will it be? Vasquez looks down at the document, then at the pen, then finally, up at Thulrex. Where do I sign? She asks quietly. Thulrex's scales shimmer with triumph. Right here, Commander, right at the bottom. She reaches for the pen. It is almost anticlimactic, really. After all that build-up, all that dramatic posturing, all of Thulrex's self-satisfied speech-making, she just reaches out with her small, soft, completely non-threatening human hand and picks up the pen. Her fingers wrap around it, and I notice absently that her knuckles are scraped raw. Probably from punching something or being dragged through debris or whatever violent nonsense happened during the station breach. Thulrex is practically glowing with satisfaction. His scales have gone this bright, iridescent purple that means he is experiencing peak emotional pleasure. Around the bridge, everyone has stopped pretending to work and is just watching. This is the moment, after all. The moment when humanity officially becomes property of the Velcrin Empire. Historic, momentous. Very boring, but also momentous. Vasquez holds the pen up, examining it with this odd little expression on her face. Almost curious, almost amused. She tilts it slightly, watching how the light plays off the metallic surface. Nice pen, she says, and her voice has lost that raspy quality. It sounds clearer now, stronger, almost conversational. Velcrin craftsmanship, Thulrex says proudly, because of course he does. Only the finest materials. Now, if you would be so kind as to actually use it, Commander, we can conclude this tedious business and I can get back to the much more interesting work of cataloging your planet's resources. Right, Vasquez says. About that. And then she moves. I am going to be honest here, I do not even see it happen. Not really. 1 second she is standing there, looking defeated and broken and thoroughly conquered, the pen held loosely in her hand like she is about to sign away her species' future. The next second she is inside Thulrex's guard, moving with this speed that should not be possible for someone who was just limping, who was just bleeding, who was just dragged onto our bridge like a piece of broken equipment. The pen, that beautiful, expensive, symbolic pen, is suddenly not in her hand anymore. It is in Thulrex's throat, right through the softer scales at the joint where his neck meets his primary shoulder. The one spot, the only spot really, where our armor plating is thin enough for something small and sharp to penetrate. She has driven it in up to her knuckles, and I can see her fingers wrapped around it, holding it steady, and there is blood now. Lots of blood, purple Velcrin blood mixing with red human blood from her scraped knuckles, running down Thulrex's chest plates in rivers. He makes this sound. This wet, gurgling, impossible sound. His forearms come up, grasping at her, at the pen, at his own throat, but she is already moving again, twisting away, and when she pulls the pen out there is this spray of arterial blood that hits the surrender document, turning all those carefully printed words into purple-smeared nonsense. Thulrex drops. 2.5 meters of apex predator superiority just crumples like a puppet with cut strings, hitting the deck with a crash that echoes through the suddenly silent bridge. His eyes are wide, shocked. Already glazing over. For maybe 2 seconds, nobody moves. Nobody breathes. We all just stand there, staring, trying to process what our eyes are telling us but our brains refuse to accept. Then Vasquez straightens up, still holding the blood-soaked pen, and smiles. So, she says cheerfully, who is next? The bridge erupts into chaos. Vexen is screaming into her comm unit, calling for security, calling for medical, calling for anyone who can make sense of what just happened. Kralthos has jumped back from his station so hard he has knocked over his chair. Nexura is frozen, staring, her mouth hanging open in a way that would be comical if our commander was not currently bleeding out on the deck. The 2 security officers who brought Vasquez in are reaching for their weapons, but she is faster, so much faster than she should be. She drops into a crouch, sweeps the leg of the closest one, and he goes down hard. The other one gets his plasma rifle halfway up before she is on him, using that damn pen again, this time going for the eye. He screams. She does not, and I am standing here, watching this tiny, soft, wounded human turn our bridge into an abattoir, and all I can think is, oh, we made a mistake. More security officers pour onto the bridge from the side entrance, weapons drawn, and I finally remember that I have legs and dive behind my tactical console. Not my proudest moment, but let me tell you, self-preservation instincts are there for a reason, and right now every single one of mine is screaming at me to get away from the human with the murder pen. Vasquez has somehow acquired the fallen security officer's plasma rifle now. She fires 3 shots in quick succession, and I watch through the gap between my console and the deck as 2 more officers go down. The 3rd shot hits the bulkhead above the doorway, melting a hole through the metal plating and setting off the atmospheric alarm. Great. Fantastic. Just what we need right now. Stand down. Someone is yelling. I think it might be Senior Officer Thaxir, but I am not about to pop my head up to check. Surrender and you will be shown mercy. Vasquez laughs. She actually laughs, and it is not a panicked, desperate sound like you would expect from someone who is outnumbered 30-1 on an enemy warship in the middle of hostile space. It is genuine amusement, the kind of laugh you make when someone tells a really good joke that you have been waiting for them to get. Mercy? She calls out, and she is moving as she talks. I can hear her footsteps, quick and light across the deck. You mean like the Mercy you showed the colony on Titan, or the research station at Europa, or the civilian transport you vaporized at Jupiter Station? She fires again. Someone screams. Here is the thing about humans, she continues, and her voice is so calm, so conversational, like she is teaching a class instead of conducting a one-woman massacre on our bridge. We are really, really good at holding grudges, and we are even better at planning. I risk a glance around the edge of my console. She has taken position behind Thalarex's command desk, using it as cover. The surrender document is still there, now thoroughly soaked in purple blood, and she is holding something in her other hand, something small that she has pulled from her jacket. A detonator. A communicator. I cannot tell from this angle. You thought I was defeated, she says. You thought dragging me up here, making me sign your little document, that was your victory moment. Your grand finale. She pauses, and I swear I can hear the smile in her voice. But see, the thing about theater is, it only works if everyone is playing their part, and I have been playing mine perfectly. Vexen has made it to the weapons station, trying to lock down the bridge exits, but her hands are shaking so badly she keeps missing the controls. What are you talking about? She shouts. You are trapped here. You are going to die here. Maybe, Vasquez agrees. Probably. Actually. But you know what? Worth it. She holds up the pen, and even from here I can see it is not dripping blood anymore. In fact, the blood seems to be evaporating off it, leaving the metal surface clean and gleaming. That is wrong. That is very wrong. Blood does not just evaporate like that. This pen, Vasquez says, is not actually a pen. Well, okay, it writes, so technically it is a pen, but it is also a nano-dispersal device, military grade. Very expensive, very illegal under about 17 different interstellar treaties. We have had it ready for 3 months, just waiting for the right moment to use it. My blood goes cold. Nano-dispersal. That means the document, I whisper. And I do not mean to say it out loud, but it just comes out. The document was laced. Gold star for the 3rd tactical officer, Vasquez says, and she actually points at me with the pen rifle combo, like a teacher praising a student. Yes, the document, the fancy, ceremonial, completely unnecessary physical document that your commander insisted on having printed on actual paper because he wanted the moment to be special. The document was saturated with a very specific compound, odorless, colorless, completely undetectable by your standard sensors. Thaxir is trying to flank her position, moving along the starboard side of the bridge with his weapon raised. So what? He demands. You poisoned a piece of paper. Congratulations. You killed 1 commander. We have 6 more on this ship alone. Oh, the poison was not the point, Vasquez says. The poison was just insurance. The real trick was the electronic suppression field. Electronic suppression field. Oh no. For exactly 7.3 seconds after that pen touched that document, Vasquez continues, every security system within a 5-meter radius went completely dead. No alarms, no emergency protocols, no automated defenses. Nothing. Just 7.3 seconds of beautiful, perfect silence. She taps something on the device in her other hand. which was exactly long enough for me to send a very specific signal to every other human prisoner on this ship. All 47 of them. Funny thing about humans, we are very good at coordinating, very good at timing, and very, very good at taking advantage of opportunities. As if on cue, the ship-wide alarm starts blaring. Red lights flood the bridge, spinning in that nauseating pattern that means hull breach, or fire, or both. A voice crackles over the comm system, panicked and young. Multiple prisoner escapes in Detention Bay 3. They have weapons. They are, oh stars, they are heading for the reactor level. Another voice. Different sector. Engineering reports unauthorized access. Humans in the propulsion control room. Armory breach on Deck 7. Medical bay is under siege. Vasquez grins. 7.3 seconds. That is all we needed. Funny how the smallest things can change everything, is it not? The comm system has become a symphony of panic, and I am stuck listening to every horrible note. Deck 12, Section 4. They have sealed the blast doors. We cannot get through. Casualties mounting in the lower decks. We need reinforcements. We need, oh stars. They are using our own weapons against us. Someone shut down life support in Detention Bay 5. Repeat, life support is offline. Prisoners are... Wait, they are in environment suits. How did they get environment suits? I am still crouched behind my console, and I have to admit, the sarcastic commentary that usually runs through my head has gone completely silent. This is not funny anymore. This is not boring. This is a full-scale disaster unfolding in real time, and we are all sitting here watching it happen. Faxier has given up on flanking Vasquez and is now shouting orders into his wrist comm, trying to coordinate a response, trying to get some kind of control back, but I can hear it in his voice, the edge of desperation. The realization that we are not dealing with a random prison break here. This is coordinated. This is planned. This is military precision wrapped up in what we thought was surrender. How long? Vasquez asks, and she is not talking to us. She is talking to that device in her hand, and I realize with a sinking feeling that it is a communicator. She has been in contact with someone this whole time. Copy that. Tell Martinez to hold engineering for another 3 minutes. We just need 3 minutes. Vexen finally gets the bridge lockdown activated, blast doors slamming shut over the main entrance with a heavy thud that I feel through the deck plating. There, she shouts triumphantly. You are sealed in here with us now, human. No escape. Who said anything about escaping? Vasquez replies, and she sounds genuinely puzzled by the suggestion. A new voice cuts through the calm chaos, this one deeper, carrying more authority. It is Vice Commander Krolovex from the secondary bridge. All hands. Long-range sensors are detecting multiple energy signatures at the edge of the system. Confirmed human fleet inbound. Estimate 27 warships, 8 cruiser class. Arrival in 34 minutes. Wait. What? That is impossible. I hear myself saying, we destroyed their fleet. We destroyed all of them. There is nothing left. Vasquez tilts her head, looking at me with those dark human eyes. You destroyed the fleet we let you see, she says calmly. Turns out, when you are losing badly, the smart move is to make your enemy think they have already won. Make them overconfident. Make them sloppy. Make them bring their Supreme Commander's flagship into orbit for a nice theatrical surrender ceremony. Oh no. The pieces are clicking together in my head now, falling into place with awful clarity. The way Bastion Prime held out for so long despite being outgunned. The way their commander surrendered so easily. The way she practically volunteered to come aboard for the signing. We thought it was desperation. We thought it was defeat. It was bait. You used yourself as bait. I say, and it comes out almost like an accusation. You sacrificed your own station. Another update from the comm. Reactor containment at 63% and dropping. The humans have locked us out of the control systems. They are not your fighters anymore, Vasquez says. Not for the last 12 minutes, anyway. You really should invest in better cybersecurity. Your military AI is impressive, sure, but it has this one tiny vulnerability in the authentication protocol. We have been uploading exploit code through every data port on this ship since we came aboard. Funny thing about treating prisoners like cargo, you stop checking them for sophisticated hacking equipment. Faxer has gone very still. His scales have lost their color, fading to this sickly gray that I have only seen once before, on a soldier who knew he was about to die. This entire ship, he says slowly. You are taking this entire ship. We are taking your flagship, Vasquez agrees. Your pride, your symbol of dominance, and when your empire hears that humans captured the dominant reach using 47 prisoners, a modified pen and a really well-timed software exploit. Well, she smiles. Let us say the psychological impact is going to be significant. I slump back against my console. We did not just lose a battle. We lost because we never realized we were still fighting one. The blast doors explode inward. Not from our side, from the other side. Someone has placed breaching charges on the exterior, and when they blow, the shaped explosion sends chunks of reinforced metal screaming across the bridge. One piece embeds itself in the tactical display above my head, and I instinctively curl into a tighter ball because apparently that is all I am good for now, hiding, cowering, watching my entire reality collapse around me. Through the smoke and debris, figures emerge. Human figures, in Velcrin armor, carrying Velcrin weapons, led by a tall man with burn scars across half his face, and the coldest eyes I have ever seen on any species. Commander Vasquez, he says, his voice calm despite the absolute chaos. Status, bridge secured, Martinez. The Rex is down, control codes are uploading now. She tosses him the communicator. Engineering. Ours. Reactor control in 2 minutes. Hangar bays 3 through 7 are secure. He glances down at Thorex's body, then back at her. Medical? Later. We need to move. She picks up the blood-soaked surrender document, folds it carefully, and tucks it into her jacket. Like a souvenir, like a trophy. Round up the bridge crew. Anyone who cooperates goes to detention. Anyone who resists, well, we need the space anyway. I look around at my fellow officers. Vexen has her hands raised, shaking. Kralathos is crying, actual tears running down his scales. Nixera is just staring at nothing, her mind clearly somewhere far away from this nightmare. Nixera meets my eyes for just a second and I see the same realization reflected there. We are not the conquerors anymore. We are the conquered. Human soldiers move through the bridge with practiced efficiency, disarming officers, checking bodies, securing systems. One of them, a young woman with short blonde hair, stops at Thorex's corpse and nudges it with her boot. Commander really got him good, she observes, right through the throat valve. Textbook. She practiced for 3 weeks, Martinez replies. On models, on simulations, on whatever we could build. She was not leaving this to chance. Vasquez is at the main command console now, her fingers moving across controls that no human should know how to operate. But she does. She knows exactly what she is doing, pulling up system after system, overriding protocols, rerouting command functions. How long have they been planning this? How long have they been studying our ships, our systems, our weaknesses? How long have we been blind? The view screen flickers, and suddenly I am looking at Bastion Prime again, except it is not burning anymore. The fires are out, the breaches are sealed, and there are human ships around it. Dozens of them. Small, fast attack craft that were apparently hiding in the debris field the whole time, playing dead, waiting. Dominant reach. This is Captain Chen of the ES Defiance. A voice comes through the comm strong and clear. We have you surrounded. Your fighter screen has been neutralized. Your escort ships are standing down. Surrender your vessel, and we will accept your crew as prisoners of war under the terms of the Geneva Convention. You have 5 minutes to comply. Vasquez leans over and activates the response channel. Captain Chen, this is Commander Vasquez. The dominant reach is already ours. Recommend you coordinate with Martinez for docking procedures. We have approximately 400 Velcrin prisoners who need processing. There is a pause. Then Chen laughs. Actually laughs. Understood, Commander. Well done. Earth Command is going to lose their minds when they hear about this. Let them, Vasquez says. She looks around the bridge, at the captured officers, at the human soldiers standing guard, at the body of Thorex cooling on the deck. We just changed the war. And the worst part? The absolute worst part. She is right. So, here I am. Escape Pod 7-3, tumbling through space, watching the dominant reach shrink behind me. It is still there, still intact, Still the massive symbol of Velcrin superiority it always was, except now it has human ships swarming around it like parasites, and the running lights have changed from imperial purple to that garish earth blue, and somewhere deep in my gut I know I am never going to see it under Velcrin control again. They let us go. That is the part that stings the most. Vasquez could have kept us all prisoner, could have executed us, could have done any number of things that we absolutely would have done to them, but instead she just loaded everyone who surrendered into escape pods and sent us on our way, with enough supplies to reach the nearest outpost. Geneva Convention, she called it. Some human law about treating prisoners with dignity. Dignity. From the species we were about to enslave. The irony is so thick I could choke on it. My comm unit keeps picking up transmissions from the fleet. Our fleet. Or what is left of it anyway. They are in full retreat, falling back to the secondary defensive line, trying to regroup and figure out what in the name of all the stars just happened. I hear Vice Commander Krolvex trying to explain to High Command that yes, we lost the flagship. No, it was not destroyed. Yes, humans have it now. No, he cannot explain exactly how they pulled it off because he honestly does not understand it himself. I understand it though. I was there. I watched it happen. The pen. That stupid ceremonial overpriced pen. Thorex was so proud of it. So pleased with himself for thinking of that little theatrical touch. He wanted the moment to be special, to be memorable, to be significant. Well, he got his wish. The pen that was supposed to end the war did end it. Just not the war he thought, not the way he expected. Turns out when you hand a weapon to someone and then stand there smugly while they figure out how to use it, you should not be surprised when they use it on you instead of on a piece of paper. Note to self. Note to the entire Velcrin Empire, actually. Note to every species in the galaxy that thinks humans are soft and weak and easily conquered. Never, ever, ever give a human a writing instrument and assume you know what they are going to do with it. They have been using tools to kill things since before they invented agriculture. It is basically their whole evolutionary strategy. Why we thought they would stop now is beyond me. 6 months later, I hear the war ends. Not with Velcrin victory. Not even close. Humanity captured 3 more capital ships using variations of Vasquez's strategy, crippled our supply lines, and turned every single one of our advantages against us. They used our arrogance as a weapon. They used our overconfidence as ammunition. They used our belief in our own superiority to beat us into submission. And somewhere on some human ship, probably mounted on a wall in a place of honor, is a pen covered in dried purple blood. I hope they never clean it. I hope they keep it exactly as it is, as a reminder, as a warning, as proof that the smallest things in the right hands at the right moment can change everything. Commander Elena Vasquez used a pen to end the Velcrin Empire's expansion. She used it to kill a commander, steal a flagship, and turn the tide of an entire war. 43 species signed surrender documents before humanity. None have signed one since. And you know what? I do not think any ever will again. Because humans do not lose. Not really. Not when it counts. They just wait and plan and find exactly the right moment to remind you that underestimating them is the last mistake you will ever make. That pen proved it. And I was there to watch it happen. Lucky me.